Welcome to the podcast.
A warm welcome to everyone in the audience.
Welcome. The Simone Feiler Podcast. Subscribe to the channel, giving authors a platform.
Please welcome.
Welcome to the Simone Feiler Podcast. So pleased to be back for 2026, introducing the fabulous Fiona Kuilboer to the podcast today. Lovely to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my total pleasure. And for the last 3 days, I've had the pleasure of working with Fiona and the amazing Hedwig for the win. That's the name of the fabulous book that we've just recorded. And I am so much more knowledgeable now on psychiatric assistance dogs.
Yes, thank you.
And how fabulous they are. He is such a treasure.
He really is. He's an amazing animal.
Yeah, definitely.
Incredible. Yep.
The both of you together have made such an amazing team over the last few days.
Thank you. Yeah.
How did you find it?
I loved it. I found it exhausting. Had to sleep in the afternoons. Found my voice got tired. Probably not used to talking for so long. In a row.
3 hours.
So, it was great. I really did enjoy it. It was funny when Hedwig was asleep in the booth and then during his dreams, he makes little squeaking noises. I think of it as running through fields of sunflowers. Aww. And there's little beeps and squeaks in there from him. So it was funny.
And tapping when he decided, you're comfy.
Yeah. And a couple of times he just pushed out of the booth going, I'm done. You got this.
I'll take it from here.
So it was good. But he was there for all of it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he loved it. I think you felt like a bit of a rock star at the end as well. He certainly knew how to make me cry, that's for sure.
He does. He, within the book, I really wanted to create his voice as well and showed that it is a partnership. There's the two of us in it and that he has his own ideas and opinions, most of them based around snacks, but quite a lot of them about his loyalty to me and how he works through his day to support me. So I definitely wanted to show that his voice in our story is very much a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's real.
I have learnt so much. I've seen guide dogs around in the past for, I guess, blind people and I've not really thought it, so much into depth about what goes into it, but man, there is such a process.
There really is, and to me, it is irrelevant of what the dog actually does. If you see a dog in a jacket that's an accredited animal, it doesn't matter what it's doing. All you've got to know is that it's helping its person.
Yeah.
And it's reasonable to assume that person has a disability of some sort. And that could be anything. That could be blind, hearing, mobility. It could be a medical alert dog, which is, alerting to seizures for epilepsy or blood sugars for diabetes. So they're all basically hidden disabilities. But as soon as you've got a dog, it's no longer invisible. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
So having a dog really does highlight to the world around you that you probably need a little more space, potentially a more help, some kind of assistance in some way.
Yeah.
I often find that if I'm wearing sunglasses, people talk louder to me.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, they think you're blind?
They think I'm deaf.
Oh, okay.
When I'm wearing sunglasses because they talk louder. Okay. But they really ask me if I can see the sign, but they always enunciate words funny. So, which is weird because I think in their mind they go blind, but do you need help and stuff? But no one knows what he's for.
Yeah.
And I really, most of the time, don't want to get into a conversation about what he does. I kind of feel like people don't go up to people in wheelchairs and say, what are you doing in the wheelchair? What medical condition that you have that puts you in that wheelchair?
Do you find that they do that often
all
to
the
you?
Time.
Really?
All the time.
Right.
Most days, someone will say, what does your dog do?
Wow.
And I think it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah.
I have hearing loss and I wear hearing aids. No one asks if I'm deaf.
Yeah.
No one.
No.
They think I'm blind deaf with the sunglasses, but they don't think that he could be used for that. So as a psychiatric assistance dog, he doesn't have any markings on his coat that indicates his purpose. And what I'd like the public to know really is that if you see a dog in a jacket, just know that it's doing its job.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that dog is. What it does, not important to you.
Yeah.
It's helping its person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also there's issues out there, you know, I suppose Hollywood might have made it a little bit famous where the little dog sits in the bag and goes into the shopping centre and, you know, whatnot. And you sort of brought it to my attention in your book that, you know, some people like to have a go at you basically and say, you know, my dog's just as, important or relevant as yours and it's helping me, but it's not trained the way Hedwig is.
Yeah. The difference with a great pet, and there are some amazing pets with excellent training out there, no problem with that. But what the difference is the public access test and the requirements for that. That is a much higher level of standard of behaviour of both their demeanour, their behaviour, their hygiene and things like that. And I have a problem with people taking their pets into supermarkets in the trolley, because that's where my lettuce goes. That's where my cauliflower sits. I don't want a dog sitting in there. So for hygiene, an assistance dog shouldn't really be in the trolley. It should be on, walking beside you, helping you with whatever its task work is. So I have people all the time go, my dogs are ready, and I see them yapping
not
and, pulling and dragging things over. And, there's a huge difference, as there should be, between an accredited animal and a pet. And I'd love the conversation around public access. I'd love this book to raise awareness of that and to start conversations about when we're in public places, in jacket, accredited, that we shouldn't be challenged.
Yeah.
That said, when people put an Etsy coat on their dog, it is pretty hard to tell the difference. Yeah. People will say, mine's ready, where do I buy the badges?
Wow.
So there's a black market of badges that people want to sew on there.
Just to take their dog into the supermarket or a cafe or what?
And many cafes have, welcome pets. But my advice would be, if you know your pet is not social,
don't take
then
them.
You should be really careful about where you take it. And you might go, my dog's friendly, but your dog isn't.
Yeah.
And we have that all the time, that people want their dog to approach mine. He just wants to say hello. Well, my dog's working and my dog's trained to ignore your dog, and it shouldn't come up to mine.
A very good point, because that's not common knowledge. And I've recently got a rescue dog, and we've had him since July, Martin, and I've taken him to training a couple of times. It wasn't really, I should have persisted. I was going to say it wasn't for me, but I should have persisted. Yeah. But I do realise that they go up to each other and they actually teach you there, saying, you always be polite and say to the person, is it okay for my dog to meet your dog or whatever? Yep. But I wouldn't know that until I've met you, that's not right. He's working.
A well-trained assistance dog, regardless of its task work, a well-trained assistance dog will be so discreet and so invisible that it's trained not to be noticed. It shouldn't be sniffing your handbag. It shouldn't be, nudging or pulling or, dragging people around. It's got to be composed. And like the public access test has a rule that it's got to be within 30 centimetres of your body. You look at someone walking their pet with an extendable lead.
Yeah,
that's not
that's
30,
Martin.
Yeah. And that's great for pets.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. But when I'm taking my assistance dog, you got to, I think the easiest way to think of it is if it's a wheelchair. What would you do to a wheelchair? You just simply give it a bit more space.
Yeah.
You give them time. If they look like they're struggling, you ask if there's anything they need help with. But otherwise, they're getting about, they're doing it on their own. They're doing their thing. So you just let them take their own time. Yeah, give them space. But the dog, don't engage with it. Talk to me, talk to the handler. Yeah. Hi, how are you today? I'm great. I love your dog. Excellent. I'm trying not to look at him. I know, he's cute, right? Beautiful, love that. But what does your dog do? What's he trained for? they're very personal
They're
questions,
invasive,
and they're
yeah.
very. I wouldn't walk up to someone and ask, what the scab is on their leg.
Yeah.
I'm often confused why people want to know what he does and why it's none of their business. So it's sort of a challenging one. And for someone with PTSD, I don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
I'm scared of strangers that have demands on me. And sometimes those interactions take me a long time to recover. Sometimes they put me into bed for hours and I can't get up again. Or because of something that someone thinks is relatively innocent but feels very confrontational to me or scary. And I get frightened and then I start crying and then people want to help and it's just messy. And I usually find a quiet spot and Hedwig and I just sit. Might look like I'm just having a chat with my dog. I am drawing every ounce of strength that I've got and he's calm to try and breathe again. So some of that, just stuff that looks ordinary, very hard.
Thank you for that insight. That's very brave of you to give us that insight. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. Can we go back to your youth and where you grew up and how life was for you before Hedwig?
Yeah, I'm a twin. So I grew up half of a whole.
Yeah. I've got twin daughters.
Yeah.
Did you compete against each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly how.
Finished each other's sentences, inseparable, literally two halves of the whole. We were the twins, not individual people. So it's funny that, I'm estranged from my twin. I don't have anything to do with her. But Hedwig is my other half now. He is the half of my whole. So as a partnership, he completes me in a way that probably only twins could understand.
Amazing.
So my partnership with him is intimate in a way that the sibling that I lost, the twin that I lost, is the gap that fills.
Wow, he's got such an important role in your life.
Yeah, and I've got an older sister who is my absolute best friend. We talk most days. She's incredible. I love her so much. So, but we grew up in Geelong with the beach at the end of the street. So we'd walk down to the beach. Mum was a single mum, sort of didn't have a car licence. So we rode buses and caught trains everywhere and we got around. We thought it was a relatively happy life. As we became teenagers, we all became wards of the state. My mum didn't have the ability to care for us to the standard that the state demanded from their point of view at that time. So the three of us became wards of the state. And that's a harrowing sort of thing. Jenny and I, my twin and I, we were kept together and separated from our older sister. And then later we were reunited with her in a foster home.
Okay.
Twin and I had a couple of incredible years with our grandparents where Grandpa would sing "Morning Has Broken" at the top of his lungs in the morning and slap Nan on the butt and go, "How about it, Mona?" It was
the good old days.
I know. It was incredible. So we thought it was a pretty happy childhood. And then I joined Army Cadets and I sort of found a home and a family within that military environment. And from there I went on to Army Reserves and Army Reserves took me up to Darwin to a big exercise up there called Kangaroo 95 in 1995. And that's where I met my husband. And we were engaged within about a month and married in about 18 months. Yeah, one of those things. And so we have basically been together since we, for our entire adult lives.
Wow. Well done.
And he's still in the Army. He's just done 35 years. So we have travelled the country all over with his Army postings.
Thank you both for your service.
My service is quite different to his because I had to sacrifice my service in order to support his. And when PTSD kicked in for me, that creates even more challenges around his continued service.
Yeah.
I support him as much as I possibly can, and he supports me in funny ways, like he doesn't wear his uniform around me.
Right.
I don't touch his clothes.
Right.
He washes his own clothes and prepares those. I struggle to attend any military functions, and those can be quite challenging for us. And yet I'm so proud of my husband's service. He is deployed overseas on a number of occasions, and I'm so proud of what he's done, and the time that he has given to defence in service of the nation. So
that's longer than a life sentence. So he's
I know
a national treasure, pretty much.
Yeah. We're coming up to essentially. Well, we've been together more than 30 years.
Right.
He joined us as a 16-year-old, so...
Wow.
That's
big.
It defines our entire life and our existence.
Yeah.
So to the, decorations in our home with his proud Ramey flags everywhere and the colours of yellow, blue and red that seem to be accidental Ramey everywhere. But,
all over the house.
He loves Hedwig as well. We've got a teenager at home, and at home, Hedwig does funny tricks and spins and dances and...
well, he's been on his best behaviour here.
Yeah.
So you saying I was getting there to ask you about. Yeah. Does he play? Does he have fun?
He doesn't bark at all. We've heard him bark maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's quite a shock when it does because he's quite loud.
Is he?
Apparently as a puppy, not so much. Apparently as a puppy, he was very loud. But to me, he knows I wouldn't like that. He knows that would frighten me, so he doesn't speak around me at all. But he runs around the backyard with his butt tucked under, his ears flopping around. He plays with the other dog. He and the cat have little adventures together, and then we'll also finish the day grooming each other.
Really?
Yeah, he and the cat for sure. Yeah. So
the cat must just love his placid nature.
The cat thinks it's a dog. So
okay.
Our cat is amazing. He's pretty funny. A ginger Tom that is a crazy cool cat. So cat loves both the dogs. Dogs love the cat. So it is a household with a lot of hair.
Yeah.
A lot of fur.
Yeah, that's something that cracked me up in the book is the hair. There's just hair. Hedwig comes with
hair.
lots of hair.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. I'll probably be talking to you down the line in a month or two saying Hedwig's left his hair here still.
There is glitter everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. The hire cars I hand back. I always hand back with, I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's hair. Yeah. But it's just, he comes with hair.
Yeah.
I groom him really regularly, but
that's
a Labrador, I don't think it would matter.
Yeah, they might. So how was your first meeting? Tell us how you guys, how that went down.
Yeah.
How did you actually get introduced or find out about Hedwig or that you could actually get Hedwig into your life and make it easier for yourself?
Yeah, it was a mental health professional, a counsellor that basically suggested a psych assistance dog. I didn't know what that was, had no idea. And didn't really know if that would help, but I knew my animals were incredibly important to me. And I knew my animals had been intuitive to how I felt. When I was sick, I had a dog that would always sit on the bed and just stay with me, no matter what. So I knew animals could be next level intuitive and care. So when it was suggested about a psychiatric assistance dog, I looked into it and I couldn't find anyone that had openings. And I ended up basically applying through the Department of Veteran Affairs Psychiatric Assistance Dog program, and they find the training organisation who interview you and assess your suitability. We were deemed suitable. But in order to get Hedwig, I had to rehome a pet. which was devastating for me.
That must have been so hard.
But it was what had to happen. And it took about 9 months or so for me to be paired with Hedwig. Some people wait much, much longer. And some people, wait
It's
years.
like a baby coming, right?
Yeah, it is. I think I found out in June that I was getting him, and he came in July. So it's
Okay.
really only in that last little bit where they have trained the dog, and it's passed all its sort of criteria, and then they train it specifically for you, for your triggers.
Right.
So I got a call that I'd been paired with a dog, and I looked him up, and I'd been told I'd get a black female Labrador. So to see Golden Boy just was amazing because he had such a cheeky grin.
Yeah.
The photo of him is in the book. It's so funny.
Oh, like just the cover of
Yes.
the book is gorgeous.
Yeah, so I found out I was getting Hedwig, and I just cried. I cried for a few days, scared and worried. Could I do it? Was I good enough? Did I deserve it? Was I?
Wow.
Was it gonna be okay? And was I brave enough to face the world with a dog, knowing that it would draw attention? And it was hard.
Yeah, because obviously, I guess your condition, you didn't want to go out there and express yourself, and with a dog, it's just an attention grabber.
By that stage, I was barely going out anymore other than to therapy appointments. I would ask my son to pick up something on the way home from the shops, so I didn't have to go to the shops at all. I had cheated my way out of life, so I was pretty isolated.
Yeah.
So the idea of a dog helping me get back into life meant that I would have to go to those places. And could I go to those places, and did I want to? And I wanted to, because I wanted to see my grandsons and I wanted to travel to see them, but I didn't know if I could. And I didn't want to go to the supermarket, and I knew that I wanted to go to the supermarket, but I hoped a dog would help me get there. But I knew it would bring attention, and there was all this back and forth about should I, could I type thing, back and forth. When he finally arrived, I looked at him and he gave me a nod and he was happy to see me, and I went, nailed it. Yeah, we'll be fine. I don't know how, but we're going to do this. So
a good story.
we had the afternoon where he just got to settle in, and the next morning training started, and it was hard and it was intense, and I cried.
Did you have someone there with you training you both?
Yeah. The trainer basically, because they have to, in the initial bit, they have to train you to pass the public access test as a team. So the dog might understand what's going on, but I had to learn all the language, and I had to learn how to move him through the places, and he with me. And my arm was so tight from holding the leash, where it needs to be quite loose and gentle and sort of a synchronized dance. And we had to learn that. And I had to learn how to go into the places I'd avoided and breathe again. So I was living in Cairns, so we had to go to Cairns Central, and I had lived there for 18 months, and I don't think I'd even been there.
Wow.
It was just too big, too complex, too overwhelming, too many things. So that's where we had to do our training. And by the end of our training period, after a number of weeks, I dominated that environment. I could walk him up those stairs. We went through escalators, lifts, supermarkets. I could put him down, sit him, walk away, look at shampoo bottles, come back to him, get him to pick up his lead and put it in my hand, and off we'd walk on the next round. So I couldn't see anyone else. I had such narrow tunnel vision because I could only focus on us. But he was able to create the space for me to walk through these spaces. So now, by the time we left Cairns just recently, I had a couple of favourite shops in there that we could go to, and people welcomed us and were familiar that I was the one with the dog. We didn't get challenged. We were supported.
That's good.
I didn't notice people watching me anymore.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we could navigate life And we travel now. We would fly down from Cairns to Brisbane to see my grandsons, and I loved it, and it was great. And just, they love the dog. The dog doesn't love little kids.
Does any?
No, not so much. He likes big
But I
people,
can imagine
but not little
Hedwig's
kids.
pretty tolerant though, because he's incredible.
He's amazing. But yeah, it got me to all the places that I had stopped going, I could now go.
Oh, that's
so it was life-changing.
Definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah. And throughout the book, you talk a little bit about, these challenges that you have, obviously. And also you give the comparison between the training that Hedwig has as opposed to a normal dog.
Yes.
With your Kelpie, you talk about your Kelpie. And
yeah. My Kelpie will wee on you if you stand there long enough. He's terrible. So definitely not an
Note to
assistance
self.
dog. Yeah, I know. Just, you don't want to move my Kelpie. But the public access test is a really high standard, and I make absolutely no apologies for demanding high standards. Yeah. Because if we want our dogs to be safe in public, and we want the public to understand that they are trained, and understand their role, then we do need high standards. So Queensland has the gold standard, but the rest of Australia needs to catch up.
Right.
So in Queensland, we have, as simple as our ID card in Queensland has a photo of me as the handler and a photo of Hedwig, the dog, as a team, as a partnership. Me and my golden Labrador. Yeah. My South Australian accreditation has a photo of me and says Hedwig, Labrador. Doesn't even say golden Labrador.
Oh, wow.
So I hate, and South Australia, they only test every 3 years. And I think if you're going to ask someone to meet a fitness standard, but only test them every 3 years, you reckon they're still running around the block every week?
No.
So I want the standards.
Not if they're me.
Yeah, not if they're me. So I want the standards to be high. I want them to be maintained high, and I want us to retest, requalify all the time. I want us to prove it that we're holding the line. Yeah. So I've got no problem with doing the public access test. It's nerve-wracking. It's a test, but we quite like it because it really does prove that I hold the standard as well, that I haven't just treated him and, letting him eat off the table or trying to climb onto the couch.
Well, even I said to you, I said Hedwig can sit on the couch, and you said no, he can't.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure he'd
But
like
I'm
to,
taking video footage and intermittently putting Hedwig in there. You can see how good he is.
So I want all of Australia to be better with dogs. I think dogs can open doors literally, figuratively, emotionally, for so many people with hidden disabilities, that the idea of allowing people to have public access standards that give them safety and education for people so that they know.
Have you got any
standard.
methods that you're thinking that would help the general public know how important this is?
I think if you see a dog in a jacket and it's not acting the way you'd expect an assistance dog to act, then to me your first question should be, may I see your dog's accreditation? Not what's he doing, what's he for, or anything like that. Yeah. May I see your dog's accreditation? Okay. Because if they're a genuine handler, they should be able to provide their identification and their
this
accreditation.
Isn't, you're talking about if you're going into a shop or a cafe or somewhere.
Absolutely.
Or just for the general public?
You
probably say don't come up.
The general public doesn't really have a right to ask, but if I sit down at a cafe, then absolutely they have a right to ask why I'm bringing him inside. There are places the dogs can't go, like a commercial kitchen, a medical, surgical suites within medical, places that need to remain free of dog hair. Yeah. He can go into hospitals and things, just not into the
surgery.
Not into surgery, thank goodness. Yeah. But I think your first question needs to be, may I see your accreditation, not what's he doing or what's he for? Yeah. Because that shows that we are accredited. And if the dog is not acting appropriately, they should be asked to leave because they shouldn't be disrupting other people. They shouldn't be affecting anyone else. They should simply be a wheelchair, be a medical device, be a medical aid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's sort of how I feel about it. I'm not sure if other handlers have other opinions, but certainly to me, the public access test, we shouldn't make fun of it. We shouldn't have a assistance goat or an assistance llama.
Yeah. Wow.
If it's going to meet public access hygiene standards, unless you're toileting it.
And also, well, I keep going back to how he's trained, you know, because you were talking that he can literally go to the toilet on command.
Yes.
And will.
You've seen that, yes.
Yeah.
When I took him out for a break.
And not only that, other things like, you know, if someone waved a sausage roll or something in front of any other dog, it would go for the sausage roll and say, like, oh, whereas Hedwig will just sit there and pretend nobody wants a sausage roll.
Yeah, and yet I've had people feed him, and I'm always quite surprised because I wouldn't feed someone else's dog, let alone an assistance dog. So I think that is public understanding. I think that's probably just more the individual because it doesn't happen very often at all.
Right.
But I think we should all be aware that, like, generally, that the dogs in jackets, accredited dogs, they're just doing their job.
Yeah.
Their person needs them for a reason. Why is irrelevant, but they're just working.
Yeah. So how did it come about then that you decided to write Hedwig for the Win?
Yes, okay. Essentially, I went to the Far North Queensland Legacy Ball with my husband, and it was, everyone in ball gowns and incredible, gorgeous in Cairns. Yeah. The keynote speaker was Curtis McGrath, OAM, who's a Paralympian and former combat engineer in the Army. And he lost both his legs in a IED blast. And he talked about essentially his injury and his recovery, and that, you know, he basically was given prosthetic legs and was able to walk again relatively quickly. And I sat there crying, going, my injuries, I can't just stand up and walk on new legs. And it just broke me. And I was in that ballroom, gorgeous, sitting there, makeup done, and I was crying. Oh. And my dog at my feet, tucked under the table, leaned against me, and he just pushed into my leg. And I just basically matched my breathing to his, and tears streaming down my cheeks, but I stayed there. I was brave enough to stay.
That's brave.
While I was breaking. And when I talked to my psychologist about that, she said, you know, why don't you write your own speech? Why don't you respond to his speech about blood on the battlefield and recovery and triumph and his Paralympic gold medals and his OAM? Why don't you write your own answer to that? And so I wrote a speech that was very angry and very upset, but also...
You didn't hit send.
Oh, actually I did send it to Curtis McGrath OAM.
Did you?
I did.
Oh.
I did send it. I wrote it, and I talked about how we can't all be measured to his standard, but our voice matters, and we matter, and our struggles still matter, even though they're never going to make a highlight reel, or I'm never going to wear a gold medal. But I matter, and choosing a shampoo matters to me. So I sent him my speech, and he wrote back, good on you, own your own narrative. You matter. Oh, you know, your voice matters. So really take control of that and, you know, do whatever you need to for your recovery. Yeah. And so I took that back to the psychologist, and she goes, I think you should write a book. Oh. And I went,
win to her.
Really? We don't really have anything to say.
What?
I know.
Excuse me.
And
Hedwig for the Win says otherwise.
Exactly. We decided we did have something to say. We decided that what we had to say was how life with a psychiatric assistance dog can be life-changing, and that it comes with a lot of hair, it comes with bravery, it comes with struggles, but it comes with triumph as well.
Yeah.
So my Hedwig for the Win, my gold medal, is Hedwig. Is how we walk through our lives, and that's a win for us.
Yeah.
So my nod to Curtis McGrath, OAM, and his incredible accomplishments as a Paralympian, I read a book.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hedwig for the win.
Yeah.
So that's...
And you actually did get your golden medal, right?
My golden dog.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're still #winning, I reckon,
Absolutely.
with Hedwig for the win. So
it's insightful for people that are in a position where they could really benefit from having an assistance dog, especially towards the end, because you list places where people can look into it.
Yes. Chapter 10 really talks about the possibility to partnership, about potentially how, if someone needs one, how they could go about getting one, and the different organisations that either provide or train psychiatric assistance dogs.
Yeah.
And I think what I hope for in the book is that people feel seen, people realise that their struggles matter, their voice matters, they matter. And Hedwig just wants to say, you're stronger than you think you are. That people have incredible strength within them. And even when I was breaking, even when my fingernails were digging into the palm of my hand and all I could do was try and breathe, Hedwig reminds me that I'm okay. I can get through it. And that we will walk again tomorrow. We'll step up, step forward, keep going. Some days are much, much harder than others. And as I said, some days put me back to bed for hours at a time, just little confrontations. But I'm still showing up.
You're doing amazing. Like, you couldn't even get out of the house, and now you've just recorded your audiobook here.
I know.
And now you're on a podcast.
I'm so excited. I've done a lot of firsts in the last couple of months.
Well done, you.
And I just never thought really a story like this was in me. And initially, I guess, starting to write the book was really a cathartic journey for me. But I really think this is a voice. I think this tells people with lived experience that our struggles are very real. Getting kicked out of cafes once a week is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When my life is hard enough, I don't need
when your life pretty
stuff.
much depends on Hedwig.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't have a cup of coffee. We don't have dogs here.
Yeah.
No.
Some of it is crazy. Some of the confrontation that people have with me, or,
Well, that takes strength already for you to get over that.
Yeah.
And
I think sometimes I might look okay in the moment, but when I break down at home and take a long time to recover from little things that people say or do, people with PTSD don't necessarily, we overthink things a little bit. We have a number of different coping strategies that just try and get us through the day. Hedwig is such a positive influence into my life and my family. And I hope the broader community. I hope that people see us navigating our community and our space and support us in that.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've made great inroads, How long have you been together?
I got him in July 2024.
Right.
So
nearly a couple of years.
Yeah, nearly a couple of years. He's turned 3 in November. So
a couple of years, like, you weren't getting out of the house. You've moved from Cairns.
Yeah.
You're now living in Adelaide. You're flying up to Brisbane to record an audiobook, all in such a short time.
Yep. And to actually even just get to the airport, to fly to Brisbane, I had to catch a bus who the driver challenged me for my identification.
Oh.
I got on the train. I didn't know which stop I had to get off to. Made it to another bus, which took 147 stops to get to the airport.
What? Note to self, never catch that one again.
It was very crowded. Someone tripped over Hedwig because the bus jolted and they fell over.
Oh.
Hedwig was tucked under, but yeah, it was just so crowded. So, and then, we had getting to the airport, and then we had a very anticlimactic flight from Adelaide to Brisbane. So it was an epic adventure just to get here.
That sounds like a book in itself.
It was, yeah. And I've got 2 flights home this afternoon, pending on weather. So it just, I'm okay. I can only bite off little chunks at a time and only do little things. But I plan and I set little reminders and I try every day. I try.
That's awesome.
So,
Well,
and Hedwig basically professionally sleeps through the majority of it.
What a life.
I know, right? Yeah, he likes snacks and sleeping.
Yeah. And what about the snacks he gets? He gets, like he eats carrots.
Yes,
carrots.
He loves carrots. Yes, if I'm doing sort of anxiety-inducing stuff to me, then he gets higher reward treats because it's just paying extra for focus.
Yeah.
And I need him focused. So he actually elevates through a number of different tells when I'm getting anxious or having a panic attack. Initially, first he will nod at me, and then he puts his head on my knee. He will start pawing my leg. Wow. He will pick up his lead in his mouth and basically, angle at me that we need to leave. And he becomes quite insistent. If I am not doing well. He will get me out of there. So he escalates as I do. And then when I sit there crying for a bit, he simply just sits down and puts his legs across mine and waits. And just huffs like, and just lets me know it's okay, I can breathe.
Wow.
I've just got to calm down and
so important.
And be okay again. So he's amazing.
Yeah, you're both amazing. You're both amazing. Thank you so much for doing your book with me. Yeah, and chatting on the podcast. Can people reach out to you, Fiona?
Absolutely. I've got hedwigforthewin.com.au. So there's a Gmail address on there, hedwigforthewin@gmail.com.
Okay.
So I hope at some point that I can go do some school visits or some talks about invisible disability or public access, those sorts of avenues that are relevant to us. I hope I can bring some awareness. If I go, Hedwig goes. So if you don't want to meet me, but you want to meet Hedwig, you have to invite me along.
It's the team.
Yeah, because he goes where I go. Yeah. So, I'm hoping we can get out and share our story a little bit and spread some calm and some understanding and really just be kind. Be kind.
So true. It doesn't take much, does it?
It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching this and you think that you can help Fiona and Hedwig do the speeches at your place, or you know someone that might want to invite them, please check out the website, hedwigforthewin.com.au, or you can even jot a note down here on the Simone Feiler podcast.
Yeah, and enjoy the book. It's funny and hopeful and lots of Hedwig personality in there.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of laughs and lots of cries when you read the Hedwig bits. Please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel so you can elevate Fiona's voice and Hedwig's voice as well. And of course, I also talk to other authors on the podcast, so it'd be great if you can share it to the people that need to hear it.
Thanks for listening to the Simone Feiler Podcast. Subscribe to the channel, giving authors a platform. Like and share the videos to help indie authors get their story out to the people who need to hear them. And make your audiobook dream a reality with Simone Feiler, the audiobook queen. Find out more at audiobookaustralia.com.